I appreciate it. I really do. And I appreciate those who are listening tonight. I know it's late and, I appreciate you guys taking time to jump on this webinar with me. I do think there's some very impactful things we're going to be talking about today. Some crucial things, as the heading suggests, right? Crucial customer experience improvements that you can make right now. Just a little bit of background who I am. I've been with Podium for about 5 years. The entire time I've been in retail, specifically in jewelry. So I've covered the jewelry space for a lot of years. We've been embedded in jewelry for a long time, and a lot of different groups, and been working with Howard for a long time. And overall, definitely it's my favorite industry. And the reason why I love it so much is because it works perfect for what we do here at Podium. Let's jump into it. Enough about me. Let's talk about the agenda. We're going to talk about 3 things today. One, obviously questions to consider, right? That's going to make it super important. The next thing we're going to be talking about is customer experience improvements to make in your business. And lastly, if you guys have any questions, we can answer some questions at the very end. Okay, so let's jump into it. And let's start with a quote here. This quote comes from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Okay, every business will face tremendous challenges as our nation begins the path to recovery while still facing the public health threat of the virus. The businesses that will survive and thrive are the ones that can be flexible and adaptable to consumers' new and evolving needs. You'll need to plan carefully and understand not only what may need to change about your business, but what new growth opportunities may exist for you in a post-pandemic world. Okay, that's what we're facing with. And this is kind of what we're going to be covering today, is how things have changed. And we're going to do a question and a checklist to see how you're doing on those changes. It's important to consider, like, we're not here to survive as businesses, because if you survive, you'll die. That's what Blockbuster was trying to do when Netflix came out. They were trying to survive. They weren't adapting. They weren't trying to thrive, right? You have to adapt as a business, or you're slowly going to fade away. Okay. Our goal here is to adapt and thrive, not just survive. And the cool thing about this, and I know it's hard because I know times are tough out there, but whenever there's change, there's always growth opportunities that are going to exist. You just have to find them. Okay. And that comes from, like I said, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. So let's jump into it, right? 5 questions you should consider as you reopen, or as you're opening up. Okay. Number 1, how has my customer changed? Think about that. Has your customer changed? Has their purchasing behaviors changed? Has that changed since COVID-19 and the onset of it? As you reopen, it's crucial to consider how your customer has changed during this time and to accommodate the new needs and expectations of your customers. I love stats, as stats provide such a powerful insight of what's going on. So let's look at these. How has your customer changed? First stat, 57%. 57% of consumers purchase goods or services from businesses for the first time because of their pandemic-friendly services. I can see this in myself. I used Uber Eats for the first time ever through the pandemic. Never used it before. I felt like it was easy enough to just go to the store or go to the restaurant and pick it up myself. I use it now, even though these restaurants are open, because it's convenient and it's seamless. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. But people are changing. They've tried something new for the first time because of their pandemic-friendly service. Next one is 53% say failure to offer pandemic-friendly services led them to purchase from a competitor or discontinue doing business with that individual. You can see this in your personal life. Don't take these stats, for example. Have you gone to somewhere where you saw people not using social distancing, maybe not washing their hands at a restaurant or touching your food? Immediately you get put back, you get set back, and like, okay, maybe I'm not coming back here anymore. They don't think that my health is good enough or important enough, right? So it's important to understand that. And the last tidbit here, number 1, customers prefer texting as their number 1 form of business communication since COVID-19. Okay, it's important to understand that customers prefer texting as their number 1 form of business communication. So think about your business and what are you guys doing to actually communicate with your customers. Okay, here's a few things to consider. Okay, 1, use text messaging as your primary communication form. Customers want it. 89% prefer it, but people aren't doing it enough. And we'll beat this drum pretty loudly here at Podium, but people want a text because it's easy. It has a 99% open rate. 90% of it's opened within 2 minutes. Why wouldn't you want to communicate this way? 2, consider offering video consultations. I was on Facebook today for the first time. At the top, I saw Facebook saying, hey, do you want to schedule a video with like a conversation via video with one of your friends? Everyone is going this way. Video consultations are important, and it's a way to keep people safe. And third, offer contactless payment options and traditional methods. If there's a way for you to get payment without having to swipe that physical card, you're ahead of the game. You have to find ways to offer contactless payment. What do I mean? Well, maybe a text message. Shoot a text message. They can pay for their services through a text. It's completely safe. You don't have to worry about any fraudulent charges or anything. It's important that you do these things because it will improve customer experience. Customers will ditch brand loyalty for safety and convenience. We know that. They're looking for digital first. They're looking for that modern customer journey, right? Whenever they're out there shopping. So keep these things in mind, okay? Let's jump to question number 2. Does my business model still make sense? Okay. For many sectors, traditional business models no longer make sense when it comes to meeting the current consumer expectations, right? And facilitating a modern customer journey with your customers. So what do I mean by that? Does your model still make sense? Well, let's take a look at models that no longer work versus models that do. Models that no longer work, those that rely solely on a physical location, right? If you need to be in my store to buy a good, those are quickly going to go out of fashion real quick. Okay, those that fail to use technology effectively, right? That's the way this is going. It's heavy technology. It's always been that way. It's continuing to go that way. It's never going to go back because it's so easy and convenient for people. Those who don't invest in an online presence. If you don't have some sort of online presence, you're missing the boat. You need a way for your store to make money while you're sleeping. Invest in online presence. Those that don't prioritize delivering a high quality customer experience. Customer experience is always key, the key to winning. It always will be. Everything we're talking about here makes the customer experience even better. Okay. And lastly, those that rely on a buy once and done strategy, it's not going to work anymore. You need to make money multiple times. And as generational jewelers understand, you can't just get one ring and it's done. You need to service them. You need to service their children. You need to be their jeweler in order to continue to make money in the communities. What are some models that do work? Invest in a customer experience that is both digital and in person. Those are working today. Use technology to improve their customer experience. Focus on responsivity and personalization because people want things quick and as fast as possible. And use communication to follow up and build strong relationship with consumers. And you can do that especially with communication, to build that strong relationship going forward for many years to come. Okay, so models that don't work, take a look at where you're lacking here and where you can improve, and see somehow, some way you can get it over to the models that do work side to make your business better. Okay, and let's talk about being better incorporating technology in your business. 80% of customers think brands should use technology to make customer experiences more valuable. The majority of consumers now expect business models to effectively incorporate this technology. This involves everything from designing a website to leveraging social media channels, right? To texting customers through their GMB page. We work with a customer, it's called Austin's Couch Potatoes, right? These guys they sell furniture, but as you're using as you see their online presence, right? They have a great storefront, right? If you're looking at their website, they have videos there to watch. They have I have a question, text us here. They have a lot of cool things that are going on. If you look at their Facebook page, it's very sleek, it's nice, it's easy to communicate with it. If you're looking at their Google My Business page, it tells you exactly when they're open. It tells you that there's in-store shopping, there's curbside pickup, and there's delivery. They have hundreds of reviews. They have high-star reviews. This is a beautiful online presence from Google to Facebook to their website. Okay, something like this is what you need take your business to that next level. And anyone can do this. Facebook is available to everybody. Google My Business is available to everybody. Websites are different. You have to invest in a website to get where you need to be, but there's some low cost alternatives out there. Everyone can make this jump. Okay, so don't think it's too far-fetched, not at all. Many of you are already there. Okay, couple of customer experience to improve technology and to incorporate technology. Implement some sort of web chat tool on your homepage, on your website. The web chat tool is key because it allows customers to communicate with you through a text message right through their phone to your business. It makes it easy for them to communicate with you. If it's hard to communicate or find you, you're losing business. If the only thing you have is a contact us form at the top of your page, you're losing business. Okay, it's because it's difficult. People want to make it seamless and easy. Use some sort of web chat tool that can grab their attention and they can communicate with you really quick. 2, use a text to video option. We talked about this with what I saw through Facebook today. But if you can use video options to safely video with somebody, it's super powerful. And lastly, use appointment scheduling to safely monitor in-store customers, right? That can be done through there's free scheduling out there that you can use easily. Okay, so think of those 3 things when you incorporate technology. Let's jump to the 3rd question. Do we need to update your customer journey to bring in leads and revenue? Okay. Another important factor to consider is whether your existing customer journey is still relevant or it needs to be updated to keep you competitive. Okay, so what does that mean, the customer journey? Well, the customer journey starts from the moment they find you to the moment the final sell happens and they walk away. That is the entire customer journey. It's important to factor in, like, is it still relevant? Do I need to update something? Do I need to bring leads and revenue into my store through this customer journey? Or am I just going to sit back and do what I do and hopefully things will work? Okay. Now, if you think about it, like, businesses are changing. I remember when I was a little kid, right? Looking for furniture. We go to furniture store to furniture store. And as a family in our blue Dodge minivan, we jump in, we go to one store, look at furniture, go to the next store, look at furniture, go to the next store, look at furniture. And businesses knew this. And that's why they served up hot dogs and free drinks and popcorn, right? It's because that's how we used to shop. Shopping has changed completely. If I need a couch, I'm doing everything online, and then I make a move, right? I'm not going to go from each one of these furniture stores around here or each one of these jewelry stores out here to make a decision. I'm going to know exactly what I want, and then I'm going to find it. Okay, that's what's happening these days. That's what's going on. Okay, this is what the customer journey looks like. They find you online. Okay, and I can promise you, the customers that are coming in your store are doing this. They know they need a product or service. The first thing they do, they go online. What did they do online? They read your reviews. They see if you offer these pandemic-friendly services. Next thing they do is, once they see, okay, these guys look pretty good, they go and visit your website to see what current protocols, what updated hours, regulations, how to connect with you online. Okay. And thirdly, they expect to order online, or that order online to be frictionless, and coming in store to be a seamless transition from online to in person. That's what customer journey looks like today. And it's not going to go away. Even when COVID goes away, it will continue to stay here because it's frictionless and it's easy, and that's what people want to do. I always say COVID-19 just kicked everything into gear and kind of put it on steroids. Is exactly what it did. Okay, this was already happening before. It just jet rocketed everything into where we're at today. Okay, so let's take a look at some customer experience improvement tips, right? That you can always do. 1, always follow up experiences with a review or a feedback invite. Okay, what I mean by that is your social media presence and your online presence gets buoyed up by online reviews. We know that from Google. So if a customer comes in, they love your business, get a review. Okay, people see it, it improves your online listings, your SEO, and it's free. Okay, next thing, update your listings, your websites, hours, pandemic friendly service and protocols. it's never more frustrating to see that a company is open online on Google to actually drive there just to find out that their business is closed. It is the most frustrating thing in the world, right? Or to go to dine in somewhere, but actually they don't allow dine in. When online it said, yes, there's a check mark for dine in, right? It's just so frustrating. So make sure you update that listing. And the last, open communications from social media website and GMB listings. What I mean by that, everyone who has a Facebook listing has Facebook Messenger, right? If you have an Instagram, right, there's Instagram text. If there's Google, you have a GMB. Google has a way to communicate via text from your GMB page. Open those communication channels up so that they can start communicating with you through these text messaging channels. What that does, it makes sure, like I said over and over again, the customers want frictionless experiences, and this is what that provides, that exact thing, a frictionless experience for your business, okay? Some other things to understand. Your customer journey needs to be digitally based. We know that. We've been talking about that. Customers want to find information about you quickly and also connect easily. And all these things here on the right-hand side will offer that, allows you to communicate easily, okay, with your customers. Let's go to question number 4. We've got 2 questions left, so stick with us. Do we need to alter our products or services and how they're delivered? Okay, so think about that. Do you need to alter your products or the services you're selling and how they're delivered? Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, research shows that 86% of buyers will pay more for a better customer experience. And with everything that has happened, customer experience is exactly what's needed, right? Recent studies also report that consumers are prioritizing health and safety more than ever, along with convenience and communication. So the services and delivery methods should reflect the awareness of these priorities, right? So common gaps in communication, lack of follow-up, lack of technology, and lack of other buying methods besides just swiping your card can make or break your business if you're not careful. So be careful. So let's look at some other stats that we see. Okay. How can businesses deliver products differently? In middle stages of the pandemic, curbside pickup surged 208% in 20 days. Okay. As the pandemic picked up speeds, services such as delivery, buy online, pickup in the store, curbside increased dramatically to 208%. And 90% of retailers plan to implement some sort of pickup or curbside pickup or online by 2021. It's what people will need to do, okay? And it's not very hard to do, right, for a lot of these things. So what are other industries doing? Well, let's take a look at healthcare practices, for example. And I think some of you may understand this if you went into the dentist for some reason, where you can text them to let them know you're there, and you can actually wait until they text you back to come into the practice, right? Restaurants are doing text to takeout, an easy way, right? To actually, you can text a company, restaurant, boom, and you also know about Uber Eats and deliveries. Libraries offer home delivery. Jewelers, right? What I'm seeing a lot of the jewelers are doing are also curbside pickup. They're doing a lot of videos where you can video back and forth with customers. They can look at their goods and services very easily through a quick video and communicating through text, right? These are some practices that you can do. And think carefully. I mean, you're embedded in this industry. Think carefully about how you can make your products or services more convenient and accessible, and what tools you will need to do that, okay? You know your business better than anyone else. So how long should a business plan on this? Well, let's take a look at what consumers say. 80% of consumers would like local business to continue offering curbside pickup and local food/grocery delivery, right? They're going to want this after. Consumers have responded really well to these changes. The mass majority of customers want to see these kinds of service continue even in a post-pandemic world. So think of that. It's even if you're trying to get through this and say, well, once we get through this, we'll be okay. Well, they're going to want more of this because it's so convenient. It's clear that convenience and safety have risen as deciding factors in consumer preferences. Okay, and that those preferences are likely going to carry forward into the future, like roadside pickup or whatever it may be. Consumers have responded really well to these changes, right? The vast majority of customers want to see these kinds of service continue, even in a post-pandemic world, right? So it's clear what we need, okay? So let's take a look at some things that we can do on the customer experience side to improve or to adapt the in-person experience. Continue to offer curbside pickup. If that's available to you, continue to offer it, okay? 2, gather feedback on how to increase convenience. When is the last time you gathered feedback from your customer? All right, whether it be from a piece of paper you can give them to give you feedback, or you can do it through a text message. On a scale of 1 to 10, how did you feel that, how rate our business and how easy it was to do business with us today? On a scale of 1 to 5, how likely would you recommend us to a friend, right? What can we do to be better? Okay, can you gather feedback? Because you need to gather feedback from those that matter most. Lastly, use text to facilitate services. Power smooth deliveries, follow up quickly after a pickup or purchase, whatever it may be. Text messaging is powerful and can be used in a variety of ways. Our jewelers use text message for repair pickups, right? Very easy to do. You literally just press the button, boom. A text goes right to a customer, hey, your repair is done. Please come pick it up via curbside when you're ready. You can shoot them a text to pay right through a text message where they can do an Apple Pay to complete the sale and the service and can pick it up. It's very easy to do, right? So use text to facilitate a lot of this. Keep in mind, consumers expect products and services and deliveries to be seamless, convenient, and technology driven. If all of these make it harder on customers, it's not necessarily a great customer experience. And remember, 89% will spend more money with a customer if they provide excellent, with the business, if they provide excellent customer service, okay? Okay, let's go to our last and final question here. Are our internal operations and staff set up to manage change effectively? Okay, are you guys set up to manage all this change? What about the internal employees, right? Are they effective at what they're doing today? Because it's important to evaluate, most importantly, your internal operations and honestly, give your business the best chance of surviving and thriving in a new marketplace. And let's finish these off with some stats. How are your employees feeling? 73% of working professionals report feeling burned out. 65% of employees report an increased workload. 35% of employees say productivity has decreased since transitioning to remote work. There's a lot of employees out there that are feeling burned out with all this. But why? Why are employees feeling burned out? 85% of consumers expect local business to offer more convenient communications and services now than they did prior to COVID-19. They're feeling like there's so much on them that they have to do, right? And that's why they're feeling burned out, okay? With the right systems, you can mitigate overwhelm for your employees while enabling them to have more meaningful interactions with customers. COVID took us all by surprise, and some changes are inevitable, but you can mitigate whiplash and negative consequences if you consolidate and communicate effectively. Okay, some ways you can communicate effectively. Relieve the influx of phone calls with text messaging. We'll go back to texting. Reduce that. Texting is asynchronous. You can text 5 people at the same time, but you can only take 1 phone call. Relieve some of that through texting. Improve internal communication and coordination, right? This can be done a variety of ways, but you need to improve the employee to employee communication, how you're doing it. And you need to automate as many processes as possible and use automation when appropriate, okay? For example, our jewelers, we're integrated with a lot of point of sale systems out there. One big one with the jewelry industry is the Edge, right? We can integrate everything so that once a repair is done, you click a button, boom, automatic text message goes out. Once that happens, schedule the payment. It can be done automatically to take a lot of load off of you and the employees. Okay, you can, there's a lot of different things you can do to make it easier on them. Team members, they need to be trained well and given the tools to manage their workloads more, right? And customers need to feel that their business is communicating honestly and openly. So, it's hard for these employees, but give them the tools to make it easy. But technology is never easy. You just have to train them right and make sure it's easy to do. And a lot of it can be super easy. You just got to give it a shot. Let's do a quick recap of what we talked about today. 5 crucial customer experience improvements to make as you reopen. 1, meet customers where they are. Wherever they are, you have to be there. If they're online, be online. Okay. Meet customers where they are. Got to incorporate technology. Technology is the key to making things seamless and easy. Every one of us uses technology to make our lives easier. You need to do it the same for your customers. 3rd, give customers the info they need. Whatever that information is, make sure you give it to them and you give it to them quickly in a precise manner in their preferred channels. If they email you, email them back. If they text you, text them back. If they call you, call them back. All right, they're telling you their preferred channel of communication, reciprocate that same thing in that same channel. 4, adapt the in-person experience, however it may be. It has to change. And lastly, don't forget that internal process, okay? Whatever process you have internally, make sure that your employees are on board, they're not burned out, and make it easy for them, okay? I appreciate, I think I'm right on time, right before 6:30. Thank you, Howard, for giving me the opportunity to talk today. If there's any questions out there, I would love to answer some questions. If not, we can say goodnight.
You've done fantastic. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. If somebody, I'm going to kick it off. I've got a question for you. What would you say has been the most successful thing that businesses have done during this time?
Yeah, it's what I talked about today, Howard. I think, the most successful thing people have done is 1, let people know that they're still open and they can communicate with you in a safe manner, right? However it may be. Our jewelers are successful when people know that, and they have the tools necessary to actually, from actually search to sold, they can do that all without even having to come into the store. Those jewelry stores have been the most effective, hands down, and we see it every day, and it's a beautiful thing. It does take it takes a lot of changes to be done to get that to happen, but it's not very hard. It really isn't.
Okay. Anyway, we've got some nice comments in the chat, but not specific questions. Another one that came up was, how do we go about setting up messaging for our business?
Easy. So there's a variety of ways. So Podium provides a platform to bring in everything into one centralized place. Facebook, Google, all that stuff. You don't need Podium to do that, right? Messaging can be done via your own cell phone. If you don't have a lot of customers, you don't feel like you get inundated and you're okay with giving out your cell phone number to your customers, you can go to Google today, search in Google click to chat and how to turn it on, and you can go and turn on text messaging through Google. Okay. Everyone has Facebook. You can have Facebook Messenger turned on for your business, and that can come to your phone as well, right? So those are just 2 easy options to open up messaging for your business, and you can do that really quickly for free.
Okay. Abraham asked, does Podium have Spanish capabilities?
It does. Yep. Podium does have Spanish capabilities. So yeah. Quick answer is yes, we do. There's multiple languages you can change within Podium.
Great. Ivy asks, do you have more suggestions on tools or systems for internal process improvements?
Yeah, that's a good question. I know Podium's tools really well. I don't want to be on this phone call just pitching Podium. That's not the point, right? But I think the main thing, like if I'm thinking about our jewelers and what they love the most about what we do, is find a way to consolidate communication into one place. And I talked about web chat. I've talked about web chat as well. Web chat is an awesome way for customers to get a hold of you. through your website. Okay, they love it. And you can see a direct correlation between chat coming in and something being sold. And the first day you get it, you're gonna be a believer in it, right? Because if there's only thing that customers can get a hold of you is your Google My Business page, I mean your contact us form on your website, you know, you're far from being, you know, chosen easily, right? So keep that in mind. There's a lot of other internal process improvements, you know, everything we talked about right today. And I'm going to give this deck to Howard at the end. Howard can actually send this out as well, so you can go through it instead of just like a quick 30 minutes, go through the details of it, and reach out to Podium if you have any questions along that, Ivy.
When a customer or when a retailer puts on their site, okay, when a retailer puts on their site the chat function, okay, and a customer comes on the site but doesn't necessarily ask to chat,
Yeah.
but the chat function does tell you somebody's on the site, even where they're located.
Yeah.
What's the right protocol? Is it jump in and say something, or don't do that? It's bad manners.
Yeah. Don't do anything. Let them communicate with you, right? If you're on a website, that should be something that's so. Can you guys see my screen still?
Yep.
Okay, let me show you. So this is Wilson Diamonds out in Provo. It should be something that's so seamless, and it shouldn't bother anything at all. Do you see that on the bottom right hand side?
Mm-hmm.
You guys see that? It's not, it doesn't bother your shopping experience at all, but you can look at this, it looks good. Okay, let's shop bridal. It's down here at any time. Like you have a question, it's down there at any time to answer, you know? And that's what the purpose is. It's like they're shopping and they say, okay, I like this. They click on this, they can ask a name, phone number, message, boom, it sends to their company. And then immediately they know exact page they were looking at, what product it was, and everything down to the T. And that's what the purpose is. It's not to intrude on someone's customer, you know, them shopping, but be there if they have anything at any moment as quick as they possibly can.
Okay. If no one else is jumping in with, wait, there seems to be another one in the chat. Hold on, let's see what we got here. Nope. People are appreciating all your answers, Jason. I have just one more question, and if you want to summarize or sum up at all after that, great. What can local businesses do to rebuild consumer trust quickly? What is required to maintain consumer trust now?
I think, like, first off, I hope the consumer trust wasn't broken down at the beginning, but a lot of it is just branding, letting them know that we are COVID safe, letting people know on protocols on your website, protocols on maybe posters on your window, whatever it may be. Like, people are scared to travel. Things are getting better. I feel like they're getting a lot better. I know we're around, everyone's different in every state, but they want to feel safe. And the best way to feel safe is to give them the information they need to feel safe. How do you do it? You got to post it everywhere that you can, on your social media feeds, on your website, you know, on your front window, you know, whatever, wherever it may be. And then accommodate to that. When they walk into your store, if your stores are open, make sure you have a lot of hand sanitizer around, masks available for free if necessary. Masks are so cheap, but the matter that you have masks there shows you that, hey, these guys take this serious. Everyone's going to mask up when they come in. Things like that can make a huge difference in keeping customers and their mindset safe.